It's a butterfly!
Hello, brave, beautiful warrior soul friends, and welcome to Healing Journey Homeschool. Today we are going to explore a bilateral body movement called baby backwards walking. And this is excellent just to bring presence to your day. It's really great because it can be applied anywhere you go, and it's especially useful for recovering from the unconscious traumatic fold response or a dorsal vagus collapse, which often coincides with age regression. This tool can be used for any and all parts of consciousness and can really rally everyone and bring just a renewed sense of peaceful presence to the day and to the body and to the mind, to the heart, to the soul. So without further ado, we will begin. We'll start by having two stimming toys. You can use basically anything as long as it's something you can stim with through your hands. Stimming means stimulation. Stimulation, that would be grounding, bringing presence. It feels good. It helps activate a sense of mindful presence through the tactile engagement. And it's important to have the two things, whatever you're using for them, it's important to have them be even. So the same kind of toy or the same kind of stimming tool. It could be Play-Doh and you have the same amount in each hand and you kind of just play with it when it comes time to use that hand for the exercise. We use these squishy little cupcakes and they're different colors, but they're the same kind of thing. So they're the same size, same shape, they have the same texture all the way around. It's important for the tool in both hands to be matching. So you have these tactile toys in your hand and will be on some kind of surface that would be comfortable for feet. You can also do this with socks and shoes on and do it on literally any surface. But the more tactile stimulation you have within your hands and your feet, the more effective this tool will be for grounding purposes. So start where you're at, use it wherever you need, but play with it. You know, we started by just doing it walking down the street and we had, our socks and our shoes on. And then after a while, then we kind of graduated to doing it barefoot on the lawn, on the grass. So play with it, do what you're comfortable with, but have some kind of tactile stimulation for your feet, if at all possible. It will help it to be more effective. If tactile stimulation on your feet is too overwhelming, don't worry. Meet yourself where you're at with tender grace, compassionate presence. Just meet yourself where you're at. If you need to have socks and shoes on because the bare ground or bare grass or whatever is just too overwhelming, that is completely allowed. And so we have these toys in our hands. We're engaging our feet on the ground, and your eyes will be closed for the duration of this exercise. The exercise is to step back with your right foot while squeezing your tactile toy with your right hand, and to stay in that place until you can bring your conscious presence to the muscular engagement on the right side of your body. And it can take as long as it needs to take. Sometimes we stand there doing, the one side of the body stimulation piece for, several minutes. And you might wobble, you might whatnot. Meet yourself where you're at and just prioritize presence throughout this exercise. So you'll have your feet on the ground fairly close together. They could be wider apart if that helps you balance. Do whatever's most comfortable for your body. If they need to be like hips distance apart, that's totally fine. Try not to have them farther than hips distance apart though. If they want to be close together, that's allowed too. And every time you take a step back during this exercise, you're only going to be stepping back a few inches. I kind of measure it as I'm going a half foot's distance, not a measurement foot, but my physical foot, because then I can gauge it a little bit easier. And so with each step, you're simply placing your foot halfway beside or behind your other foot. They're very, 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 very small steps. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth, stimulating the right and left sides of our body. So we'll step back with our right foot and put all our weight on our right foot. Our left foot is still on the ground, touching the ground for balance sake, but there is no weight being pressed into that foot. All weight is on the foot that we're using in the exercise in the moment. So right now we're doing the right foot. And so we lean all our weight on the right foot and we squeeze the tactile stimulation toy with our right hand and we breathe really deeply. Inhale, exhale. Always return to your breath. Always offer unconditional presence towards your inner being. Always offer a patient, tender care towards all parts of your consciousness. Once you feel your conscious awareness be present with the muscular engagement on the right side of your body, we'll go ahead and shift the focus by lifting our left foot and moving it backwards ever so slightly, and shifting our tactile engagement with our hands from our right to our left. So now our weight is on our left foot and our left hand is squeezing and using whatever kind of tactile stimulation toys you have. A nice squeeze is good, or you can kind of play with it if you want. Really just giving it one solid squeeze and holding that muscular engagement is what I found to work the best for this exercise. And again, just breathe nice and deeply. Inhale, exhale. Just offer space for presence. Thoughts may come, allow them to go, and return to your breath in gentle love with an inhale and an exhale. Prioritizing presence through this process. Your eyes are remaining closed during the entirety of this exercise. Once you sense your conscious awareness being present with the muscular engagement on the left side of your body, which will be the left foot supporting your body's weight as you stand, and your left hand giving this tactile toy a nice squeeze. Once you feel conscious awareness with that muscular engagement, we're going to go ahead and shift sides again. Lifting our right foot, moving it back just a few inches, no farther than a foot behind us, and shifting our hand engagement, so we're now squeezing with our right hand and releasing with our left. And in this process, you can still hold the tactile stimming toy in the non-active hand, but do not squeeze. Kind of just gently, loosely, so it doesn't fall, but literally no more than that. And so your conscious focus is on the muscular engagement on just one side of the body at a time, with your foot supporting your body's weight as you stand and your hand on the same side of your body gripping with a nice squeeze on your tactile stimulation toy. This exercise does a lot of amazing things for our nervous systems. It helps bring regulation, it helps bring mindfulness, it helps bring presence. It actually can help slow down the sympathetic activation and help bring just a sense of regulation. It can also help recover from the other end of nervous system dysregulation, from a dorsal vagus collapse or a fold response of trauma. Traumatic responses become trapped, lodged in our nervous system like a sliver in the body. And we're allowed to work with that energy and slowly push that sliver out. Our bodies know how to heal. We simply need to create space for our body to do what it does best. But we need to be present for that to happen. And that can be really hard with anxiety, dissociation, racing thoughts, intrusive thoughts, trauma flashbacks. The list goes on. Presence can be challenging, but it is important all the more. In this process, you may experience some bodily sensations, such as burping or yawning. Allow for those releases, for that is simply communication from your unconscious subconscious, and it's a positive sign of reestablishing presence within your nervous system. If you get distracted and you need to open your eyes, that's okay too. Simply close your eyes and return to your breath as soon as possible, loving yourself through the process and encouraging yourself, knowing that one day you'll be able to do this with your eyes closed during the entire duration of the exercise. The hope is to assess clues of consciousness at the beginning. How severe are the anxiety, intrusive thoughts, dissociation, nervous system dysregulation, etc.? And to continue this exercise for however long it takes. It may be 5 minutes, it may be 25 minutes, until there is a felt sense of relief. It may be minor, but continue until there is some tangible reduction in the intensity of internal operations beyond conscious awareness. Always return to your breath. You can stretch out if you need to, kind of relax your jaw. Our jaws have a tendency to get real tense throughout our days and nights, unconsciously holding the tension within our inner beings. So relax the shoulders, have good posture, but not forced posture. Relax your jaw and continue to engage in this exercise, shifting the bodily focus from one side to the other as you go. So one side of the body, you're leaning all your weight on that foot. Your other foot, your non-active, non-engaged foot, is resting on the ground for balance, but there is no weight being pressed into that foot. And on the same side that you're standing on that foot, that same side hand is engaging in the stimming toy, and the non-engaged, non-active hand is holding the stimulation toy without squeezing.
So just to summarize, you're basically walking backwards very slowly in teeny tiny steps with tactile stimulation objects in both hands, and you're alternating the side of the body that you're leaning muscular pressure into. You'll step on one side of the body and squeeze with that same side hand, and once there's conscious presence established there, then you shift the sides of the body. It's encouraged to continue this exercise until you feel some form of relief within the consciousness. Anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour is kind of how we play it, gauging it not on the time we invest, but from the results we experience.
Thank you so much for joining us for an amazing day at Healing Journey Homeschool. Namaste, soul friends. The courageous warrior light in me sees and honors the courageous warrior light in you. Have a beautiful and blessed day.